Hi, Kevin Byrne here with the Byrne Real Estate Group. So let's just say we just listed your house and now you're wondering what next, okay? So we have the house listed. We're looking to get the house ready to get on the market. We're gonna, it depends on the house, but we'll probably do a pre-inspection. We'll probably have a stager come out and do a consultation to walk through, figure out what we need to do to improve the showing condition. So those are usually the first two steps, in terms of what we do. And then next, we're going to look at, taking the photos. So that may be photos, could be floor plans, could be a drone, depending on the particular house. It really depends on, how we could best set your property up for success for online presentation and our ability to market it out both through usually digitally, through Facebook, through LinkedIn, all these online portals that we're able to really do massive campaigns and reach many times 10,000 people in just a week or so in terms of a targeted campaign for your property. So we're obviously trying to get more exposure than just the multiple listing service and just agents trying to get consumers online. So let's say we sign the contract, we're moving forward into that. We're probably setting up those the pre-inspection and the staging. And then there may be some things that we might want to do to improve the condition. With the company I'm with right now, we're able to provide an interest-free loan, if you will, that you'll pay back at closing for lighting, painting, carpet, those kind of things. So it really helps to make some investment now with as good a marketplace as it is. People are looking for turnkey properties, okay? So just be ready for that. We're going to get you top dollar. We're going to get the property. You got price, condition, and marketing. We're going to do a great job across the board in terms of all of those. So you sign the contract, and what else is next? Well, I'm going to share a screen here. The other thing is we're going to be sending out some contracts to you. So here are a few of the contracts that we have. We've got closing instructions. Who's the title company that's going to provide the closing? In the state of Colorado, we don't need attorneys to close. The title company will do that. The fee for that is about $400, $450, depending on the title company. But that's split 50-50 between the buyer and the seller, that closing fee. And they'll provide all the documents, all the deed of trust, all the loan docs, everything needs to be signed, will be signed and notarized by the title company. We're doing a lot of remote closes too. So if you're out of state or you just can't make it to the title company, we are doing a lot of remote closings as well. Sometimes there can be a cost with that. So just be ready. We do a contract called Definition of Working Relationships. That just explains whether I'm a seller agent representing you as a seller, whether I'm a buyer agent. If we're looking to go buy a property, I'll be representing you solely as a buyer, trying to get you the best terms and condition on the purchase, versus a seller agent. Basically, I'm trying to get you the best terms and condition as a seller to make sure I get optimized sale price for you. Now, the other relationship I could be in is what's called a transaction broker. So if someone on my team or myself bring the buyer to the party and it's the highest offer, then we are basically brokers to the transaction. We're neutral, kind of like Switzerland. We're going to be fair to all parties and just make sure the transaction gets a closing. So that could be a benefit to you in the end of the day. Depending on when the house is built, if it's prior to 1978 or before, we do a lead-based paint disclosure. The seller's property disclosure. So this is probably the most important document that you need to consider when you're selling your property. So I'm opening it right now. So basically, this form will tell you, to the best of the knowledge of the seller, what's going on in the house. So we start with structural conditions. Do you know of any structural problems? Water, moisture, or water problems? Now, just give you an example. This is something that's very important. If there's been any moisture or water problems, If you're in Boulder, I think it was 2013, we had all the flooding. You need to note if there was water into the house. If you've had any type of leaking, if you've had any type of moisture, you've got to check yes here, and then in the comments, make any comments. Hey, we had water in the basement. Our sprinkler system busted and water entered into the basement. We fixed it. We did some drywall repair. Everything's fine. So the comment section is going to be critical to kind of go through that piece of it. Again, key here, water and moisture. Be very aware of that. Make comments if there's been any entry, even if you've corrected it, entry into the house, or any leaks. The faucet under the sink leaked and stained the floor. Make a note of it. Okay. Disclose, disclose, disclose. You might think, well, I don't need to. We fixed it. That's not the case. Anything that can come up later, meaning like if they find out there has been some leaking, or a plumber comes out and says, oh yeah, we've fixed this leak 4 or 5 times, we have a disclosure issue. So just be very careful. Disclose, disclose, disclose. So we go through the structural issues, the roof. Hey, let's say you had some wind and hail. So yeah, I mean, you're going to need to note that. So for example, this one, they said wind and hail to pre-existing roof. So yeah, we know there's an issue. Also the roof, here's the age, 2009. They know it's old. So here's good news, dishwasher, 2018, new Bosch. So if there's new appliances that you've put in the house, make note of it, put it in the comment section here. That's going to be critical. So if there's anything that's not operating, so it says, if you know of any problems now existing with the following. So you have to read kind of the header, figure out what they're talking about. No existing problems here. Okay. We talked about security systems, electrical telecommunication. We go through electrical. If you know what the amps are in your main breaker, a lot of people don't. Some people may not even know if you have a 220 volt. If you're not sure, just say unknown, not a big deal. Okay. Mechanical, ventilation, again, heating systems, cooling systems, make note of the ages if you know of it. The heating type, usually it's forced air, natural gas, but you could have radiant, you could have a boiler. There's a lot of different heating types. If you have questions, of course, call your agent. Okay. You've got water here, underground sprinkler system, non-working. Again, anything that needs to be noted here, make sure, water heater, water softener, you got a sauna or anything, make note of it. Water, just talking about the 50 gallon capacity and new water heater here. Source of water, who provides the water, City of Longmont in this case. Sewer, septic systems, obviously, if there's a well, make sure you're disclosing it. Here's things, something in too general that's going to be important. Any zoning violations, anything that you know that work was done in the basement without zoning, you need to note it. Okay. Any notice of zoning action related to the property, note it. Okay. Any building code or county violations that you know of, note it. Yeah, any upgrades or alterations, again, if you redid a room, make note of it. So disclose, disclose, disclose. So you can kind of go through this. You can see in general environmental issues, anything like that, you need to make note of. So any property insurance claims, they did something in 2018 for the roof. And then you need to sign it. So this is going to be an important document because in my 20 years, never been, any issues, but we're finding more and more people are coming back because of the prices of the houses and saying, this was not disclosed. We want some money. So just be careful on that SBD, disclose, disclose, disclose. You got a source of water and then a square footage, which basically is just, if you've made it, if you made any alterations to the home, redid some part of the garage, maybe finished the basement. It was done without permits. The square footage disclosure may not be accurate. Let's look at a couple of the other things that we'll be sending you. The docs management. We're going to send you a COVID form. We're going to also send you a property feature sheet. So this is kind of critical. We want to make sure that you're providing us information that you think is important for us in the marketing, whether it's inside, outside, or the community features. So just be aware if you don't fill this out, which is fine. And we put together a description that you don't think is complete or miss some key feature, you can't blame us. All right. We're not mind readers. So if you want to make sure we don't miss something, please fill this out. This is very helpful for us in terms of just key, especially the community features. You've lived in the home, you know what some of the key features are that we can highlight for the next buyer. So if you want to input into this, please fill out the property feature sheet. If you don't, not a problem. At the end of the day, though, if there's something missing in our description, you can add it too. So just call us. We usually send the description out to you to review. If you want us to add a few things, that's fine too. So just FYI, that's what we'll send out, documents, and then this property feature sheet. And then the last one is this wire fraud disclosure. So if you get anything via email asking for routing or transit numbers or anything like that, as you're getting toward closing, ignore it. Title companies will not send you information asking for your routing number unless it's through a very secure portal. So just be careful. Many times you can just bring a voided check to closing, provide it to the escrow officer, and they'll provide the wire transfer. So that is a good way, to make sure there's no issues. So that's kind of an overview of now that we have the listing contract, kind of next steps, both from a disclosure and document standpoint, and also from a process standpoint. All right. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.